Welcome to this episode where I'm going to talk you through 10 ways to get organised with your business from the Queen of Business Organisation herself. And I planned out these 10 steps very, very carefully, not in a particular order though, so you don't have to stick with them in that order. Take what you need and go and implement it, but do make time for this because it's going to make a difference to your business. So before I get started with my 10 tips, I want to introduce you to a little bit of my story and how I became so organised within my business. And it basically stemmed from running a business. Well, I've done it for, it's been 11 years this year I have been in business. However, the first 6 years weren't very organised at all when I run my product business. And so when I got to that point where I wasn't making money consistently, because I was getting sales, but I wasn't earning enough consistently to live off. And I started learning and implementing, and I literally got that rocket up my backside. Like, I guess this is a point that people get to in business, they get a rocket up the bum to implement things. But then what happens is, because you're implementing, things take off. And that's exactly what happened to me. Things took off towards the end of my 6th year. And it was great, but then it became very, very hard to manage. Whereas if I had some processes in place to manage serving my customers, because I was actually physically making their products, but even now, the time I spend with my clients, you've got to prioritize that. But then outside of that, you've got your marketing, your planning, your content, keeping up with all of the things like your bookkeeping, having systems in place that make things run smoothly. And now I've just hired team members, so now I've got to keep up with providing what I need to provide for them in a timely manner as well. So when I first dealt with, quite a busy schedule because I was making the money, it was quite hard to then be able to scale it. And so I needed to do something about that. So I did that. I put everything that I've learned into kind of system processes, came up with new plans and ideas that just made it more manageable. And that is what I pride myself on. I love to create new systems that solve a problem. And so that is how I came to start organising my business, because it took off. And I'm a true believer that if you implement this stuff from the beginning, once you start making money and consistent sales and income and bringing new clients in, you can scale a lot easier and it becomes easier to manage. And that's exactly what I did with my second business. When I started this coaching and mentoring business, I launched it, and on day one, I had clients, I had a couple of systems in place, and then I've grown even more along the way. And so it has shown that it is easier. I mean, with this business, I made the same amount in a month that I did, it took me 6 years to do in the other business, and it scaled a lot quicker. And what's interesting is, because I started out as a creative business coach, as I've made that pivot in the last year or so, getting the consistent income has been a lot. It's been rapid, actually. It's changed from where I was at, and my income's plummeted in the last few months. And I do believe that's because of the niching down, but not even just niching down, because you don't have to niche down. It's about having that clear message, like who you are, who you're speaking to, and then putting that into everything that you do. So I'm going to share with you my top 10 ways to be more organised so that you can go and implement them. And yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, set your schedule. And I don't mean just just a wing it Wendy approach. I mean a full on planned out organised schedule. So this is deciding what hours you're working with your clients, what hours you're going to be doing content, what hours you're going to be doing any other commitments in your life. You want to put everything in there. So family time, exercise, housework, how much time do you want to spend on housework? Dedicate time to specific things that need to be in your schedule, because if you look at your life as a whole, not just your business, then it becomes a lot more realistic. So you can look at how much time you actually do have to dedicate to your business, and then it's breaking down all those elements of your business and then planning those into your diary as well. And this is the exact process that I use. So I've come up with something that I call a dream schedule, and I talk to my clients about this a lot, and I've created a dream schedule. Now, obviously, life doesn't always fit that dream schedule, but the more we can aim to work towards that, the better. And doing this, for me, has enabled me now to work only 4 days a week running this business. And I also have currently an operations manager job. that's 10 hours a week. So it's great to fit both of them in only 4 days. So if you want to do that as well, look at your dream schedule and set that in place. My second tip for being more organised is around bookkeeping, because I know this is one way that businesses are not organised when they first start out. And you might not even be a startup business. You might have been in business a while and you've still not got organised with this. I see this time and time again. But then when your business does take off, you're making a lot of money, you have to register as self-employed and you have to submit your tax return. It's not easy. It's going to take even more time if you've not been consistent with keeping up with your bookkeeping. So a really simple way to work on this is to create a Google file for your tax year. I use Google Documents. I use Google Docs on Google Drive and create a folder for your tax year on there. So I have my Drive, and then I have a business tab, and then I have a finances tab. And in my finances tab, I have a document for the year, the tax year that we're in. And then inside there, there's a folder for each month. So basically, every time I have an invoice or receipt, something that I've paid for, I can just drop it straight into that file. So this makes it easier that if you need to find a specific payment that you've paid for any details, say you've posted an item, you need to find the proof of postage, you can find it simpler because you can know where it is. You can just go straight to that month, straight to that file, and open it up. And then it makes it so much easier to do your bookkeeping. So put all your invoices and receipts in those places and just make sure that you're consistently keeping up with it. So I do my bookkeeping every single month. I am about to hire an accountant very soon, though, who's going to do my bookkeeping for me as well. But before you get to that point, just, organise them as best as you can and make sure you're keeping up with them, because it will take me about an hour every time, and that's to crawl through my PayPal, my bank account, my Stripe account, and I log them in my spreadsheet, because I have a spreadsheet that I like to log them in so I can see where money's going, where money's coming in, and I like to log that. It's really good to see that forecast play out. So I kind of do that, and I'd recommend doing that, keeping up with it. I actually have a free document for this to help with this in my organised business toolkit. So if you've not got access to the toolkit yet, go and sign up. It's completely free at queenofbusinessorganisation.co.uk/toolkit. It's also in the freebies section on my website as well, and you can get it in the description and show notes of this episode if you want to sign up for that freebie. Okay, number 3. Third way to get organised with your business is to create a content bank where you can brain dump all your content so you know where it all is. Very simple, very straightforward, but I know many people don't do this. So every time you write a piece of content, store it somewhere. And I don't mean write it on a scrappy bit of paper that you can lose, or write it in a content notebook that you're going to find it hard to file through. You need to have them organised somewhere. So I use Trello. Some people use Google Drive. Some people use Notion or Asana. There's loads of different systems that you can use. I would say find the one that works for you. I love Trello because it's set in lists, and then you can create cards inside a list that you can add images to, add text and links, and I love that. So then I can bank content together. So I will have content pillars, and then I will have those themes and drop content under those themes for that relevant theme. And then if it's a sales post, I'll put it in the sales post section. If it's a quote, put it in the quote section. If it's a story, and so on. So I kind of organise it all into different places so that in future, if I am ill, but I need to schedule content, I can literally do that from bed or from the couch. Or if I need to pass on content to someone else, I can literally go take some content from Trello and schedule that in. It just makes it super, super easy to bring up all your content there so you know where it is and you can come back to it and repurpose it. Number 4, so trainings. If you have bought masterclasses or courses or resources or anything like that, I know a lot of us often can buy them because they're a really good price. I'm guilty of this. I used to be a serial content creator or content course collector. So what I started doing was storing this all in one place so that I could find it. Because sometimes it might be that you come across a really good offer, and it's something you want to learn, but not right now. My example for this was YouTube. So at the time, It was 2 years ago. It wasn't in my plan to learn it just yet, but it was in future. But there was a really good price for a YouTube course. So I bought that. It was like £50, £56, something like that. And then it was lifetime access. So I purchased that. And then I made sure that I knew where to find it so that I could come back to it at the relevant time. And when I started doing that, I thought, right, okay, I need to do this with all my courses, all my purchases, because I had a lot that I'd not yet watched, I'd not studied yet. So I needed to find them really easily. So I actually used Trello for this as well. And I just created a kind of storage bank for everything that I'd ever bought or that I had to that date anyway. And I stored it all in one place. So literally links to where you can sign in. So for example, with me, if you get access to the toolkit, it's now hosted in my Queen of Business Organisation store. And the store has quite a few freebies and it's all in one place. You get a password so you can log in and you can find them easily. So when you get a passworded portal like this, I save that link to the portal and the password and I store it into my training storage bank and put all of that in one place. Any masterclasses I've bought, I get the links to those, save them there. So if you've purchased something, you want to make sure you get access to it again. And I know that when you buy it, you don't have the time to do the thing right there and then. So make sure you swipe that file and save it. I'd always recommend doing like a bank of swipe files anyway, for anything that you do, for content, training, anything. Have it all saved because it's going to make a difference. Tip number 5, have a daily method of operation. Now, this is actually the reason that I'm here talking to you on this episode, because it's how I started my mentoring and coaching business. Because back when I was a networking leader of my local networking group, I started sharing some business tips. And one of the things that I shared was the daily method of operation and the content bank, actually. And it was the thing that blew my mind in the audience of the ladies that were in there. And they was like, this is amazing. How did you do that? And my inbox was flooded. Like at the same time, I had a friend in business who would just connect with it, who was asking questions around bookkeeping, and everything just blew up. And everyone was like, you should do this for a job. You're really good at it. And that was how I actually started up doing what I do. I became the creative business coach. And then about 18 months in, I completely did a U-turn and a pivot. And I became the Queen of Business Organisation. In all honesty, I still teach the same stuff, just to different people. I still do have a few creative clients, but yes, it's still the same me, just a different name and a brand that I align with. The Queen of Business Organisation is me, so it's great to be doing this. But yeah, so it started off with that. So what is the daily method of operation? Now, it is a set of tasks. It's like a to-do list, but it's not a list that you complete. It's actually a list that resets every day. So your daily method of operation is a task of income producing activities that you need to do on every work day. So I prioritize mine in the morning so I can do them first. I actually outsource most of this to my VA now, but get them done first, and then you know that they're done and they're going to generate the income, so then you can spend the rest of your time doing the other tasks in your business. Now, you also could have a monthly method of or a weekly or a quarterly method of operation, so tasks that don't need doing that often. Things such as your bookkeeping could be on there monthly, and so on. Now, I actually do have a resource for this, and it is called the Income Boost Bundle. So if you want to go create your daily method of operation, head over to my website where you can get access to the Income Boost Bundle for £49. Or if you sign up when I do my Simplicity series, I actually put it on a discount. Loads of people have had access to this now because it is an amazing resource. Not only do I give you a template that will help you boost your income, because it gives you a daily method of operation template, but it also gives you how to use Trello, because that's the system I use. So if you have wanted to learn Trello, you want to get organised, you want to implement these tips I'm sharing with you today that I mostly use Trello for, then yes, that'd be a perfect tool for you. And remember, you can buy it, you can download it, and then you can pop it on your resource bank with your other trainings that you purchased. So it's a win-win. And so yes, definitely implement a daily method of operation. Number 6 is project management. Have a project management system in place. Now, again, I do use Trello, but what is project management? It's basically managing the projects within your business, because we don't all just have one project. Sometimes we have multiple things on the go. Take myself at the moment. I had the crazy idea at the end of last year to hire a copywriter and revamp all of my funnels. That's every service that I offer, everything that I sell, revamp everything. So I've put it on a list, and it is quite time consuming. So I need to project manage that to make sure that I'm keeping up with that goal to get them all done, because this will actually help me increase conversion. It will help me get more sales, because I'm going to funnel people in the right way. The messaging is going to be right. So I need to manage that because it's a massive project. But then at the same time, this month I'm launching my mastermind. So I want to sell the mastermind to people. So I need to manage that launch as well, to have a project management plan in place for that as well. And so it just basically is the idea that you have all the projects that you've got on the go in one place, so they're easy to manage. So I literally have lists for each goal, each project that I'm managing. So you can put the date, the project, the goal, and then you can literally add all the details in there. So for example, when it's a launch, I add in my images, my copy, any important links, any notes that I need to note down, checklists, things like that help me manage that project. So it could be a launch, something that I'm selling, or it could be a project like writing my book, which I'm doing right now, or it could be overhauling all of my systems basically in the back end of my business. So having a project management system in place makes this super easy to manage things. And again, having all things in one place, which I think you might have realized right now is an important step of business organization, is having things in a place you can easily find them and manage them, which is a massive thing with business management in itself. Number 7, if you are using Canva and you're a pro user, then this one is going to be for you. If you're not, then unfortunately this feature is not available, but it's really good, and I would recommend purchasing Canva. So Canva Pro is $10.99 a month, but you can buy the yearly subscription. And basically, if you've not used Canva, it's a photo editing tool, and it's like magic. You can do loads on there now. It has AI interrogated. You can remove backgrounds, you can create your own social media graphics, you can create videos, reels, you can even record yourself in there now. It's amazing. And I can't even tell you all the things that it can do. And I'm not affiliated with Canva, unfortunately, but it is a tool that I use in my business, and I use Canva Pro. Now, Canva Pro does allow you to create multiple brand kits, and I use these as brand templates. So I am the Queen of Business Organisation, so I have a brand kit for that. But what I also do is I create a brand kit for every project, because there might be some differences in the patterns and the shapes and the colours that I use and fonts. So I create a brand kit based on that. So for example, my overall brand kit has the purple, the pink, the grey, the black, and the gold and yellow colour. So it's 5 main colours. But I may take one project and just use grey and pink. I may do another project and it just uses black and yellow. So what I can do is create a brand kit just based on those themes, and so that all the content that I create using that kit all ties in nicely together. So I definitely recommend using the brand kit and creating some brand templates for each of your business projects. But the biggest thing here for me that has been highly effective is using Canva folders. So again, when your project management kind of theme coming in, when you're working on a project and you do different graphics, different sizes, different things, loads of different content, you want to store them all together, and this is where folders comes in. So all my mastermind content is in one place, all my graphics, all my graphics for like one-to-one service, all my graphics for my foundations program, all in separate folders. And it also becomes really handy for my team, because I can put all the content for the month in one folder for them to go and schedule out. I just want to make it nice and easy. So I definitely recommend organising your folders on Canva into place if you are a pro user. Number 8, this could not have happened without me mentioning this, because I'm such a huge advocate of email marketing, but not just about setting email marketing up and just having the generic welcome sequence, but also using automation wisely. So you can use it to schedule your content. So basically, as we can schedule our social media content, you can also schedule your emails. So you can write an email campaign, and I do them a month at a time. Schedule out 4 emails for the month, and then I go in and do my sales emails for the month. So you can schedule your content to go out way ahead of time. You can also create and automate email sequences, and you can tie them to your website so that when a user clicks on something, your email will then trigger a certain action, and there's loads you can do to play around with this. So I definitely would recommend using email automation for your business because it is a game changer. And like I said, I am redoing all of my funnels this year. And this is one of the biggest things that I am working on changing is the email side of it and all the automations, because I know there is potential to earn more money, to help more people, and to really tighten up the processes behind the scenes. So that's exactly what I'm doing, because basically I'm calling it a big upgrade because I am upgrading all of my services, all of my freebies, so that all of my people that are in my world, like you, that are consuming my free content, and all of the people that are investing them their hard-earned cash in me and earning from and learning from me, then they are going to get the very best simple systems in place to use. So I'm tightening everything up, all my processes, making it nice and smooth and simple. So that starts with me using automation in the background. So I definitely recommend using email sequences, website automations, and automation in general, and automate what you can in your business, because it will save you time. And it means that you can trigger actions without even needing to physically be there. So you can use your time elsewhere, and it helps you stay on top of things because things get done and you stay more organized. Number 9, document your client commitments. So this means taking note when you sign a new client, which is pretty basic, and we all do that, or we should be doing that, right? But noting down what payment plan they've chosen, what bonuses they had, and your commitment to them, so that you know what you have left to deliver or where you're at in that contract. So I've actually created a client management system. It's just a simple spreadsheet, so that if someone joins my mastermind, you actually get 3 one-to-one calls to take at any time throughout the year. So what I do is I have that person's name, the date they joined, the date they finish, and how many one-to-one sessions they've got, and I can tick them off when they've had one, so I can always track how many they've got. So yeah, that's what I do, create a client management system so that you can keep an eye on where you're at with your commitment to them. And then if they ever ask as well, you've got the answers readily available. And finally, number 10, and this one is something I've only started implementing in the last 6 months, but it's made things a lot easier, is to use forms where necessary to keep things together, to keep important information together. So using a form is really easy. You can use Google Forms, which is free, and it saves the information of the responses. This is ideal if you're wanting to do some research. So if you want to do some customer research or client-based research, you can literally ask your audience and gain some insight, and you'll get those responses, which is great. So use it for that. You can also use it for getting feedback from clients, which is also what I do. And you can also use it for any other business things. So if you've been a guest on the podcast, then you have filled in the form. Well, you didn't at the in the very beginning, and didn't have the form, but after that I realized that I needed this quick step process to save me time and my guests time. So every guest that I now have on this podcast, they now get sent a form to fill in and sort the details out that go alongside their podcast, like the topic they're talking about, any of their links and important information, so that I've got it in one nice easy place to put it into my podcast and YouTube planner, ready for when my VA goes and schedules it. So you can see how smooth that process becomes because all the information is in one place. So those are my 10 tips all around how to become more organized in your business. If you have listened to this episode, I would love to hear which tips you found valuable, which you're going to implement. Please tag me on social media and share and let me know. It would be amazing to see what you get up to. Don't forget to check out my toolkit for even more ways that you can be organized, because there's some things in there that I haven't mentioned here today. There's so much you can do to get your business organized. And finally, I just want to share why you should listen to me when it comes to being organized to get your grasp on business management. Well, I think everything I've just shared there is proof in the pudding enough that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to business management. I am also currently an operations manager for a big CIC business charity, and I love it. I get to organise business and boss everybody about. But it's really important because the thing is, not being organised can actually put a cap on your income. And this is something you need to fix very, very fast. And if you don't know how to, then come and learn from someone that does know how. learn from someone who has had their business take off, but not being able to manage it and start burning out and then actually overcome that. What I was finding was I was in feast and famine because I was marketing a lot in my business. I was doing really well, getting the sales, but then I was committing to clients and then burning out very fast. So then I didn't continue marketing. So what you have is then a roller coaster. And I needed to break free of that because it's just not viable. And you don't want to feel that way either. And that's exactly what I did. So now I've managed to sustain a consistent income, which is amazing. And I want to help other people do that as well, so that you know where the next sales come from, and you know where the next client payment comes from, and you can truly be organized when it comes to finances, when it comes to business management, planning, content, social media, everything that running a successful business owns. And then when you become ready for that, can be organized to ready, managing a team and outsourcing as well. And I do believe you need to be organized and able to do that also. So come and listen to me, come and follow me if you need support. And of course, if you do need additional support and you want to come and work with me, then reach out now and come and see if you can take a place inside my mastermind, or look at the other ways that you can connect and work with me. Always happy for you to reach out and support you with your business needs. Now, I'll see you next time in the next episode. We've got some more amazing guests and amazing topics to feature as well. And make sure that you review, please. That would be amazing, because then I know that you're loving it. And the reviews are actually really hard to get on a podcast. And obviously, if you're watching from YouTube, please subscribe, because we have videos and podcasts coming out every single week and you don't want to miss them. There's some amazing topics. I've got amazing speakers lined up, plus my solo podcasts, which are just getting better and better each time. So come and learn with me. I will see you next time. Bye for now.